In the opulent shadows of a sprawling mansion overlooking the glittering skyline of New York City, Alexander Hargrove paused mid-stride, his polished loafers silent on the marble floor. It was well past midnight, and the house should have been empty save for the hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. But there, in the dim glow of the open fridge door, he saw her, Maria, his loyal maid of 5 years, crouched low like a shadow herself, hastily scooping cold remnants of last night's gourmet dinner into her mouth. Her hands trembled, not from fear of being caught, but from the raw hunger that gnawed at her insides. Alexander's heart skipped a beat. This wasn't the poised, efficient woman who kept his world immaculate. What secrets was she hiding in the dead of night? Alexander Hargrove had built his empire from nothing, a self-made millionaire whose software company revolutionized how businesses connected globally. At 52, he was the epitome of success, a penthouse in Manhattan, a fleet of luxury cars, and invitations to galas where the elite toasted his ingenuity. Yet, beneath the veneer of wealth, Alexander was profoundly alone. His wife had left him a decade ago, taking their only son in a bitter divorce that left him wary of vulnerability. Work became his refuge, and Maria his invisible anchor. She arrived at dawn each day, her uniform crisp, her smile warm but distant. He knew little about her beyond the basics. She was from a small town in Mexico, had immigrated legally, and sent money back home. But in that moment, seeing her furtive meal, Alexander felt a crack in his armored life. Why would she hide to eat scraps when he discarded food without a second thought? Quietly, he retreated to his study, the image burning in his mind. The next morning, he watched her more closely as she dusted the grand piano in the living room. Maria moved with quiet grace, her dark hair tied back, her eyes focused on the task. She was in her late 40s, with lines of exhaustion etched around her eyes that he had never noticed before. "Maria," he said casually over breakfast, "did you enjoy the leftovers from dinner? I noticed some were gone." Her face paled, and she stammered an apology, promising to replace them. But Alexander waved it off with a gentle smile. "No need. I'm just curious, why eat in the dark?" She hesitated, then whispered, "Senor Hargrove, I don't want to waste your food, but sometimes, it's all I have." Her words hung in the air, a confession wrapped in humility. As days passed, Alexander couldn't shake the encounter. He began leaving extra portions in the fridge, labeled with her name, but she never touched them openly. Instead, he caught glimpses of her slipping them into her bag at the end of the day. Curiosity turned to concern, and one evening, after she had left, he did something uncharacteristic. He followed her. In his sleek black sedan, he trailed her modest bus route to a rundown apartment building in Queens, where graffiti marred the walls and children played in cracked sidewalks. Maria entered a cramped unit on the second floor, and through the thin curtains, Alexander saw her distribute the food to 3 wide-eyed children and an elderly woman. His maid wasn't just surviving, she was sustaining a family on the fringes of poverty. That night, back in his empty mansion, Alexander poured himself a scotch and reflected on his own beginnings. Born in a modest Chicago suburb, he had clawed his way up through scholarships and sheer grit, vowing never to look back. But success had isolated him, turning relationships into transactions. Maria's selflessness stirred something dormant in him, a reminder of the humanity he had buried under boardroom battles. He decided to learn more, not out of suspicion, but genuine interest. The next day, he invited her to sit with him over coffee. "Tell me about your family, Maria," he said softly. At first, she resisted, but his kindness coaxed her open. She spoke of her husband, lost to a factory accident years ago, leaving her with 2 daughters and a son, plus her aging mother. "I work 2 jobs, senor," she admitted, "cleaning here and at a diner at night. The money goes to their school, to food. I eat last, always." Alexander listened, his heart aching with empathy. He remembered his own mother's sacrifices, working double shifts as a nurse to put him through college. How had he become so detached? In that conversation, an unexpected turn emerged. Maria revealed her dream, buried under daily struggles. My son, Javier, he's smart, like you, senor. He wants to study engineering, but college, it's impossible. She showed him a crumpled photo of a bright-eyed boy, 17, with a scholarship application denied due to lack of funds. Alexander felt a profound realization wash over him: wealth wasn't just about accumulation, it was a tool for change. But he kept his thoughts hidden, not wanting to overwhelm her. Weeks turned into a subtle dance of observation and quiet acts. Alexander began stocking the pantry with nutritious foods, insisting Maria take them home, for the staff. He noticed her worn shoes and anonymously left a new pair in her locker. Yet, the real shift came one stormy afternoon when Maria arrived late, soaked and distraught. "My mother, she's ill," she confessed, tears mixing with rain. "The doctor says she needs medicine, but it's expensive." Alexander's mind raced. He could write a check, but that felt impersonal. Instead, he offered, "Let me help. Tell me what she needs." Maria protested, pride warring with desperation, but he persisted. That evening, he drove her to the pharmacy, paying for the prescriptions himself. In the car ride back, she opened up further. Her family had fled violence in their hometown, seeking the American dream, only to find it elusive amid rising costs and low wages. The emotional climax built gradually, like a symphony reaching its peak. One weekend, Alexander invited Maria's family to the mansion under the guise of a staff appreciation day. The children marveled at the pool and gardens, their laughter echoing through halls that had been silent for years. Javier, the aspiring engineer, shyly asked about Alexander's company. As they talked, Alexander saw his younger self in the boy, hungry for knowledge, hampered by circumstance. During dinner, a lavish spread prepared by a caterer, Maria pulled Alexander aside. "Why are you doing this, senor?" "I'm just the maid." His voice cracked as he replied, "Because you've shown me what true strength is, Maria. Hiding to eat so your family doesn't go without, that selflessness I forgot existed. And I've been hiding too, from life." In that moment, Alexander made his transformative decision. He announced to the family that he would fund Javier's college education through a scholarship he created on the spot, named after his own mother. But he didn't stop there. Recognizing Maria's tireless work ethic, he offered her a promotion, not as maid, but as household manager, with a salary doubling her current one, plus benefits for her family's healthcare. Tears streamed down Maria's face as her children hugged her, their futures suddenly brighter. The act wasn't charity, it was compassion born from shared humanity. Alexander felt a weight lift, realizing that kindness wasn't a weakness but the ultimate power. As months passed, the mansion transformed. Maria's family visited often, filling it with life. Javier thrived in school, interning at Alexander's company. Alexander, in turn, reconnected with his estranged son, inspired by Maria's example of unwavering love. He started a foundation for immigrant families, channeling his wealth into education and support programs. Maria, no longer hiding scraps, shared meals openly with Alexander, their bond evolving into a familial one. In the end, this story isn't about a millionaire's largesse or a maid's hardship, it's about the invisible threads that connect us all. In a world of division, a single act of seeing someone truly can spark a chain of hope. Alexander learned that true wealth lies in lifting others, and Maria discovered that vulnerability can invite miracles. Together, they reminded us, kindness is the quiet revolution that mends broken hearts and builds unbreakable bonds. No matter our station, we all hunger for connection, and in feeding that, we find our shared humanity.